Alright, I got a new chapter of Kaiji for you. This is chapter 329, Notice. So, I'm not sure what this could be referring to. We already know about the wanted notice put out by Tei to try to have all the debtors working for them to catch Kaiji and Mario and Chang. In the end, the Ibaraki lockdown concluded with no bounty to be reaped, a strikeout. Ah, so Endo, having returned back to Tokyo, first and foremost decided he had to verify. Yes. Verify that the witness who had been at the bank at Ibaraki, the one this Nagasaki person had seen, was really and truly Kaiji. Confirmation meeting. Interesting. Okay, so this character, I really still have no idea how significant he's going to be to this overall plotline. You know, he prompted this whole Ibaraki lockdown, but that was ultimately extremely unsuccessful. He caused Kaiji and the gang to change up their tactics, but it looks like only to a very minor extent. Just some new variation on the deposits that Kaiji's come up with. So now he's meeting with Endo, which is kind of interesting. I think Endo is going to have little to no patience for this guy. Okay, so he listens to the interview. He's hearing about the money. Kaiji cross-pass with Kaiji hadn't been such an empty-headed buffoon. Yeah, no, this is going to be Endo's take. Be set free from this menial drudgery. Discharged from our posts and reaping the rewards. Ooh, no, don't ask for this here. Oh no. Okay, so this kind of makes sense though. Is like in his mind, the information that he gave is just inherently trustworthy. He's thinking of the Tei as more reasonable people than they are, thinking that they'll just be okay with accepting his story, and then thinking that they'll be so grateful to them that they'll still give him some of the reward money because it was information. And given all of that, the only reason he can think to be called into a meeting with Tei people is to be given that money. So I guess it's reasonable. Look at how incredulous Endo is in this bottom middle panel. It's like he's not even mad yet. Like he's just so confused, so genuinely confused, that he's letting his confusion just show. Huh? What? What are you talking about? I don't really able to catch them there, but I did give you solid information. Whoa! And Endo actually tosses him some money? I thought he was just gonna punch this guy right in the face. Sheesh. You can tell that Endo is like, at this point, he's so far beyond. Like, he's mad at this guy for sure. He's calling him the empty-headed buffoon. And he's mad about the entire Kaiji situation. But he's channeling his rage now. He's hent this sort of transcendent space where he doesn't need to punish anyone anymore. He doesn't need to yell at anyone. All he wants to do is catch Kaiji. And he knows that beating this guy up isn't going to get him any closer to catching Kaiji. So he's just like, alright, fine. Just take it. Let's just go. Come on. Alright, so how much does he give him? What are these? 10Ks? I think they're just like maybe 1Ks? So he gives him, I don't know, 10 1Ks? Pretty weak. Alright. So they're all sitting around. How much did you give him? 100 grand. Yeah, okay. So I guess it was 10Ks. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Yeah. So it's like 1,000 USD-ish. Didn't do anything for us. That's certainly true, but we don't want to go starting any weird rumors. Oh, alright, now this is very smart. If the story gets out that you really do get a reward for finding these guys, just for letting Tei know where they are, that's going to motivate people a lot more. Most people that they're going to be able to get on board with this, i.e. people that they're going to be able to pass the flyer out to, are Tei debtors, and are therefore probably quite skeptical of the goodwill of Tei, right? Like, Tei is a predatory loan company. They're a loan company that makes you feel regret. They're not in the best business of giving you like a nice time repaying your loans and stuff. It's more about accumulating crippling debt and then putting you through hell to pay it back. So it's understandable that not a lot of people would probably be like, oh, I'm gonna go look for these guys, support my good buddies in Tei. Of course they're motivated by the money, but they're probably quite skeptical of the money too. So I think Endo's right on the money here. I said money a lot. Yeah, they need to do this. They need to get this rumors going. It's all talk. Okay, so Endo's always wearing this striped suit. And now he has a striped lighter? Endo, please. This isn't that cool. You gotta talk to Tonigawa. Learn how to shop in Ginza. We don't actually pay them. Kick them out the door like a lost puppy. Going back on our word, infringing on our agreement like that would be problematic. Yes, that's true. That rumor would spread. Just blame us instead of his own incompetence. This manhunt for Kaiji, having our debtors cooperate with us, is still absolutely indispensable. Yeah. This makes a lot of sense. Okay. Because of this report, there's one fact we can trust for sure. Categorization for our imagination. Something I'd already anticipated to an extent, but Kaiji's group is definitely making deposits. I think this is the conclusion he made. That this was the significance of the guy's report. Not that they were in Ibaraki, because they barely were. Not anything about Kaiji's appearance, it's roughly the same. But that they were depositing money. Yes. Excuse me. Trying to compress their cash down by depositing it. Depositing money in the scale of hundreds of millions all at once would stand out far too much. Endo is mirroring Kaiji's logic quite admirably here. 20 million at a time. One of them goes off to the bank, the other two would be taking turns watching the money at a different location. And here he imagines again the family restaurant scheme. Which, you know, it has quite a few advantages. It's going to be kind of hard for someone to just run over and grab all of these big bags. It's quite public and exposed, though, you know, all it takes is one Tei guy walking past that window and being like, So, he's kind of close. He thinks there's like a fragility here that there isn't, because he still hasn't been able to imagine the RV. How do you think about it? This depositing operation of those is still only partway through. So we need to go to around even more banks before the job is through. 2.4 billion yen to go through. Alright. So they're going to attack at the banks. This makes a lot of sense to me. There's all sorts of different routes you can go to cover sleeping, shelter, eating, whatever, storage of the money. All of these things have many different solutions. But with banks, there's at least only one category. There's simply all of the major chains in Japan, all of their branches. There's nothing else outside of that. Send out a note to all of Tei's debtors. One that tells them what to focus on, the places that headquarters have told them to look at. More than business, hotels, or stations, what they really should be prioritizing is banks. Right. Makes sense. Makes sense. Right now, those guys, no choice but to go there and frequently at that. They have to deposit their money. Aren't I right? Okay. So, it's the second notice, the follow-up to the first wanted poster. Tei's debtors, now maybe more motivated than ever, knowing that something is happening, like the manhunt is narrowing down now from their perspective, just looking from notice to notice, which I would think would make them feel like it's more plausible for them to get the reward money, which should then motivate them into trying harder to stake out these banks and such. Assaulted in this ferry, these guys are seriously bad. Is this really the most intimidating picture of Mario they could get? Kaiji does look super badass. Like, Kaiji, of course, is the exact sort of person you would expect to see on a wanted poster. And Chang kind of carries that aura with him, too. You're just like, oh, what is this guy even capable of? He's got this look of determination. But then you get Mario. And it's almost like in this context, you're like, is Mario perhaps the craziest MFer of all? Look at that innocent looking grin. What is he really hiding behind this childlike surface? We don't know. Maybe, or maybe they won't be able to be taken seriously at all. Go to a bank, look around you. One of these guys will be there. Once you see them, call our toll-free number without speaking to them or making contact with them. Watch and wait carefully until a registered official arrives. By no means should you try to provoke them or antagonize them. If we catch them, you will earn an immense cash prize. Okay. So this is the easy 1, 2, 3Z. We see another Tei debtor. This kind of looks like a Tei debtor. He has that feeling of having given up on the world, and yet not really having realized that he'd given up on the world. He spots Kaiji. He whips out his cell phone. He observes Kaiji. They get the wild animal treatment. Really? Yeah, actually that's true. This is exactly just how you treat a wild animal. The fact that this flyer was apparent immediately, and the next day, Tei's Kaiji Manhunt headquarters had its phone ringing off the hook. Information from the witnesses was relayed to the members of the Kaiji Manhunt headquarters as well. Alright, so this is not a good sign for Tei. At most, they should be receiving 3 calls from 3 different people witnessing Kaiji, Chang, and Mario. Maybe there's a few people at the same bank, so there's a bit of redundancy. Let's be extremely generous and say there happens to be 3 Tei debtors at each bank that the 3 of them are making their deposits at. That's 9 calls. What this means, that we're getting this little montage of calls being spammed to the office, is that people are getting a little over-eager about what these guys look like. Alright, first off, in this middle panel, first off, the wild animal treatment. Oh my god, I love it. Look at this lion. No. Tiger? Look at this tiger. Then look at these debtors in the next panel. Oh my god. So much love being put into drawing these debtors. Anyways, phones are ringing off the hook. These can't all be credible calls. Anybody with a mullet, any Chinese person, any Filipino person, they're just calling it in. Maybe it is them. I don't know. It's worth a shot. I'm at a bank. From all over Japan. Yeah. A loaning center nearest to the bank at which the sitting occurred. Send their employees to investigate. But each and every one, it's not them. It's not them. They're different people. These guys don't even look anything. Okay, this guy kind of looks like Chang, I guess. This guy's hair, I guess, is sort of like Kaiji. A little. Oh, seeing these black suits have to, like, bow and apologize repeatedly for just running over and grabbing this guy. Oh my gosh. Oh, how humiliating. This is really just the most suffering that they've gone through yet. You know, before there was, like, staking out. Sure, that's really boring. There was all of these driving around wildly, checking banks and stuff. Sure, that's bad. But being called in to harass a stranger, to have that elation when you get the call. Go down to the bank near the station. Somebody says they saw Kaiji there. And it's this guy? It's like literally just some poor guy with a cold? Like, you gotta be questioning your career choices at that point. Wrong conclusions, false accounts, a hurricane of strikeouts. In the end, this heavy-handed full-force project transformed into a mass dialing by debtors lured in by the promise of prize money, calling the hotline in case they happen to get lucky. Other words, a lottery! No more than a lottery with no investment where if you won, you were in luck. It's true. Might as well call. What's the harm? What bad could happen? You might as well call. Timing was quite unfortunate. It was the middle of March, just as the temperature began to rise. Season where pollen was in the air, so everybody has masks. Everybody has masks. Great many people sporting face masks and glasses to combat the seasonal allergies. Naturally, young man seeming suspicious wearing the droves. Looking at them with doubt would make each and every one seem to be Kaiji. And so the natural reaction is to reach for one's phone just in case. Oh man, as you know, as before I said, as I said before, sometimes I have some moments of sympathies for Endo. Sometimes I really pity just how hardworking he is, how little his efforts have rewarded him with so far. But really, though, really, I'm very much more on Team Kaiji. And seeing Tei's colossal failure here is so satisfying to me. Oh, this is just so beautiful. All these losers calling in 24/7, demanding to speak with the chief. I'm sure I got him this time. I know the last 3 times I called, it was just other people, but this guy really looks like Kaiji. Oh my god, look at Endo! Oh, you messed up, my friend. You overestimated the power of debtors as a weapon. It's not like he could have learned any other lesson, though, of course, because the only thing that was really proven, outside of the fact that they were using banks, like the useful part of that information was that they were using banks, the debtors are in banks a lot, and that the debtor did spot him. Like this is, it's hard to draw any other conclusion from these facts than, hey, we should just deploy as many debtors as possible to banks. Their existential fatigue was at its maximum. And existential fatigue. This kind of thing is reasonably demanding. You finally got what you wanted, and find out it was no good. Short-lived elation. That's the word I used too. I used elation. It's utter disappointment. Repeating this time and time again will do terrible damage to your spirit. And Endo is surprisingly delicate. He's caught telephone neurosis. Oh, all right. Oh my god. Oh, just this. Oh, all right. It says so much. It's so defeated. All right. I guess we better check it out. You know, like what else can you say? Send them out there again. Maybe this time it's Kaiji. Maybe this time, or this time, or this time, or this time. We'll have to go to a country with no telephones. I love, okay, this is hilarious though, too, is that the black suits are still enthusiastic. You saw Kaiji? Are you sure? Without a doubt? Really? Like, if you learned nothing, they have the attention span of a goldfish. When the phone rings again, they forget all of the bad experiences so far. And they think, well, this one is almost certainly going to be Kaiji. Or maybe they remember all the bad experiences before and they have some weird gambler's fallacy where it's like, we've investigated 327 fake Kaijis now. I'm sure this next one has to therefore be the real Kaiji. We've run all out of fake Kaijis to check. Oh, this is great. So, absolutely no appearance of our trio so far. And the big mystery is, why isn't this working? Like, the tons and tons of false positives, sure, that makes sense. But then there could easily be a real positive mixed in there as well, right? Like, this method ought to work based on what they know. And it's not like they're actually turning down reports and stuff, at least not yet. So if anyone did spot the real Kaiji, they would be investigated. So, what is their plan? What have they been doing in secret that's been working so well? I guess we're not going to find out until the next chapter. I don't know if we're going to be able to figure it out. I don't think it's just an appearance thing, you know? That feels too simple. I don't think it's some like technology type thing that they just hadn't thought to do yet. That seems unlikely. I don't know. Anyways, thanks as always to Fukumoto Crazy. I eagerly await the next chapter, which we will read sometime next week. So I'll see you then. Bye-bye for now.